Hello, welcome to the Disc of Truth. I'm Jono.
And I'm James.
And as you know, here at the Disc of Truth, we talk about anything and everything. Nothing is off the table. Now, before we get going on today's fascinating episode, if you do like what you've been hearing, if you've been following the channel, do drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, let us know what you think. We're happy to hear from you. We'll talk about anything. Give us some ideas. If you want us to talk about something, we'll talk about it. Now, anyway, I'm going to pass this episode over to James because we're going to talk about Star Wars today. And I can tell you right now, I have been so excited about doing this episode.
The force is strong with you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to force this one on to James. Take it away.
So, talking about this because I've recently started watching the new Star Wars seasons on Disney Plus, which is the Ahsoka TV program. As of recording, the 4th episode has just come out and I haven't watched it yet, but quite good. I quite like it. It's set after all of the Star Warses, so everything they do is kind of new and it's kind of cool. And Ahsoka is definitely a fan favourite of Star Wars. If you know, as Jono knows, obviously big Star Wars fan, aren't you? So you know this character, you know her story and where she's been through and why she's so important.
Yeah, really, really big fan of Star Wars. Yeah.
So I suppose I don't have to ask you. You've not been watching the new seasons, have you?
I think do you know what? I'm going to tell you. You already know this, but I'm going to sum up my opinion on Star Wars. Okay. It's just 4 words. It's a very, very short summary.
Okay.
Those 4 words are I just don't care. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of Star Wars. I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
I won't say it's shit. Nothing like that. I just don't care.
Which is fine.
Yeah. I'm not interested in the lore, the characters, the world, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't interest me.
Well, I'd say that's fair enough. I like Star Wars. I'm not like a huge fan. I'm not going to be like, I have to watch everything, because I haven't, and I don't particularly care about all the stories. I like you. I mean, not quite like you, obviously. I like some of them. Some of the films and some of the TV programs have been a bit rubbish. But yeah, I like the world, and I think it's pretty good. So going through, we'll talk about the films, because that's pretty much what I care about mostly. I've only just started watching some of the TV series. But you have watched a couple of films, haven't you?
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you. I liked that Rey's parents were just random farmers.
Okay.
That then got retconned in the next fucking film.
Yeah,
I love that there was so much hype about, like, oh my god, who were her parents? Blah, blah, blah. And the next film was like, yeah, they were just a bunch of fucking peasants, mate.
So you've not seen episode 9, have you?
What, when they went back and they changed it so that her parents were some people?
Yes, they were very, very important people, yes. So if I remember rightly, so episode 8 is the one you're talking about. I hate episode 8. I went to go see it in the cinema and I wanted to walk out. My brother actually pulled me back down. I was like, no, you've paid for the ticket, you're watching. I'm like, but this is shit. I've watched it a few times. I still can't get into it. So yeah, Star Wars Episode 8 is crap. It's done by a different director, I believe, and then it had to be rescued for number 9. And
yeah, it was J.J. Abrams did the 7th one, and then he came back and did the 9th one.
Yeah, and I think he did as good as he could have done with what happened in 8. But yeah, the 8's awful. But yeah, so you've seen The Phantom Menace number 1, haven't you?
I have. Excellent film. Fantastic.
That does make me laugh, because the prequels.
You know I'm being sarcastic, right?
Thank God for that. Okay, because I was trying to. I was supposed to say, like, number 1 is. I mean, some people like it, but I think typically
it's considered it's one of the worst.
It's the meme Star Wars. That's what that is. It's everyone loves the prequel memes, but
do you know what? My favourite character is Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, piss off!
What? I thought he was really cool and interesting.
God, you really don't like Star Wars, do you?
Yes.
Oh. See, I was hoping that I could convince you to watch not all of the Star Warses, but some of the actual good ones. But yeah, I think this is a lost cause already. Is he not a fan favorite? No, I don't think he is.
Why not?
Have you so slight tangent, but you'll see where I come back to. So Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, I'm assuming you know them.
Not personally, but
not personally. So did you, before they got really, really big with like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, did you watch their TV program called Spaced?
I think no.
Okay, so there's an episode. So with the Simon Pegg character, he works in a comic shop. And a kid comes in and he's like, "Oh, I love Star Wars. Can I buy a Jar Jar Binks toy?" And he's like, "No, fuck off." And he gets fired. And then he goes to the job agency and he's talking to the woman. And then he said, "Oh, I got fired for a difference of opinion." And she just leans in and go, "The Phantom Menace." And he was like, "Yes. Did you not enjoy it?" "No." "Okay, follow me then." And it's like these two different cultures of like people who hate it and people who love it. So yeah, it's a fan favorite for some people. I don't think there's a middle ground for the prequels.
I see.
So you've not watched the original films 4, 5, and 6, the classics.
I actually have.
Oh, okay.
But I was a child, so we're probably talking 20 years ago.
Did your childhood wonder not enjoy?
Nope.
No, okay.
Nope, not at all.
It does surprise me slightly because the fantasy settings, because it's space ninjas, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. Not to talk down a series of films that I love, but it's space ninjas and space cowboys, isn't it? But yeah, it does surprise me that you don't have at least a tolerance for it. I would have thought it'd be something you'd enjoy.
No, I enjoyed Lego Star Wars, if that helps.
I mean, Lego Star Wars, a lot of the Lego games are pretty good, to be fair. I mean, for God's sakes, I really enjoyed the Lego Jurassic Park games, so clearly they do put something good onto everything.
They're just funny as well. Like
they are.
Because obviously there's no dialogue in them, they just do things stupidly. So like the way the way Darth Vader tells Luke that he's his father in the Lego Star Wars game, it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's one of those classic scenes that you just remember because it was just so dumb. And he's just like pointing to the thing and he's like, "It's me." It's like, oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say much about it. Other than I just never bothered.
Okay, so let's. I was going to try and. There's probably no point me trying to dive into the why. Is it the world? Is it the characters?
Yeah, go on. Oh, into the whys. Of the why I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just never really appealed to me.
Okay. Because I get that, if you're really, really into Star Wars, and I know that if you look into the films, there's a lot more depth than a lot of people on the surface would probably see. Pretty much every single character is like a named character. A lot of the time they're like joke characters and stuff. Like there's a Jedi who you never actually meet, and he's sort of a background character, and they just needed him to get killed in a fight, and his name was I'm Gon Die. That sort of stupid stuff. But there does seem to be a lot of love for the people who, the people who made it and the people who were part of it, and then there's obviously a huge, huge following. It's not even a cult following; it is just a huge following. I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who hasn't heard of Star Wars, whether or not they have a clue what it is or not.
True. I mean, it is one of those. I guess you could call it a household name.
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's used all the time, but it just means that if someone were to say Star Wars, you'd be like, they'd know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Lightsabers, Jedis, Jar Jar Binks, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the important ones.
Yeah, the important stuff. I personally liked how the droids just walked through their force field in the battle. In the Phantom Menace.
I was going to say it's a Phantom Menace, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. I liked how they just walked through it, and it's like, you guys got this really, this looking shit.
Yeah, the gun like, force fields, yeah.
Yeah, whatever, and they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to stroll through. It's fine. Easy.
I mean, I don't really go back and look at the Phantom Menace very much. It's definitely, I think if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a bad film, but it was always going to be a tough film to start with because the journey from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader was quite a long one, and a lot happens. I think the Phantom Menace, the reason why a lot of people don't like it is because, I'm not saying it's a cash grab, but it was a way of trying to get younger audiences into the franchise. So having slightly lighter tone moments, or some, because the droids, they do funny things occasionally. There's lots of slapstick humor, and then you've got characters like Jar Jar Binks, which I'm pretty sure, as much as I'd hate to admit it, probably did sell very well as action figures and toys. But there are some decent films in there. Again, so I'm assuming you haven't seen any of the films that are the spin-off films. So I'm assuming you haven't seen Rogue One.
Nope. No, I've seen Rogue 2, but not
You've
Rogue
seen
1.
Rogue 2, okay. Yeah, Rogue 2's not that good, no.
Yeah.
Rogue One is probably my favourite Star Wars film. It's got really good acting in. I love the cast in it. And then, yeah, it's just really well put together. I quite like that. And it doesn't have as much of the, it's all the Force kind of thing, because it's all about the rebels and getting the plans for the Death Star, and it goes straight, the ending of Rogue One goes straight into the start of Episode 4, so that's quite cool. But yeah, that's one of my favourite ones, so I would say if you were going to watch a film, pick that one. Not that you're going to.
Right, I will, I'll pop it on the list.
Oh, is it the list like my list?
What's your list?
Of games and films that I want to watch that I'll never get to.
Oh no, my list is just games and films that I'll never watch or play.
Have you played any of the Star Wars games apart from the Lego ones?
Yep, I played The Force Unleashed.
Okay.
Yep, I've also played Fallen Order.
Oh shit, yeah, you have played Fallen Order, haven't you? Forgot about
Yep.
that. So what did you think about those then?
Well, I didn't care about the story.
I will say, so I've not played Fallen Order. I've watched more films than I've played games. I did play The Force Unleashed, but I ruined it for myself because I wanted to platinum it because my mate had done that, and I thought, it'd be an easy platinum. And like the first level, when you're Darth Vader, you have to kill like 300 Wookiees, and it took fucking ages. And I got to the end of that, I was like, I'm bored now, and I didn't play it anymore.
Oh.
So that's my fault. I ruined it for myself.
I was like, I can just be a bad guy and just go around fucking using lightning on people and shit. I don't even remember the game.
But you enjoyed the gameplay, but you didn't care about the story.
Yep, basically.
Okay, fair enough.
Couldn't tell you what happened, other than the guy was good or bad, depending on what you did. Use a lightsaber, that kind of thing. Yeah, and then I played Fallen Order. I don't know why I played Fallen Order. I think I borrowed it off my friend.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, alright. I was like, this meh. Like, I just played through it. Didn't really care too much.
Fair enough.
Probably won't play the second one.
Because I have played a couple of Star Wars games. I think the most recent one I did, Squadrons, and then I can't remember what the other one I did. The most recent ones, they weren't particularly good. I liked the old games, like Knights of the Old Republic is a classic. And then I've played obviously the Battlefront games, the Star Wars ones.
I see.
I think. Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah. So the other ones, so Squadrons and Battlefront 2, because Battlefront 2 had a story, in heavy quotations.
So what's your favourite Star Wars film?
My favourite Star Wars film is probably Rogue One.
Okay, mine's The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, because it's got your favourite characters in.
Yeah, it's got Jar Jar Binks. Right. Okay. So who's your favourite character?
Ooh. It depends what mood I'm in.
Who's your favourite character, and why is it Jar Jar Binks?
It's not Jar Jar Binks. I mean, I want to say I quite like...
Who's your favourite character, and why is it Admiral Akbar?
Because it's a trap, that's why. I hate to admit this, but I actually still think from the new films, I think Kylo Ren's really cool. It's probably because I'm still a little emo kid at heart. You know, he looks like the kind of guy you could chill out and listen to My Chemical Romance with.
True. MCR are pretty good. So,
yeah. I wonder what they'd be like in space.
All right, okay. Let me just try and think. I've got nothing.
Of course, you've got nothing. You don't know anything about the films. Okay, I'm not gonna convince you to watch the films, but I'll
good, because that probably won't go very well.
So, talk about the films in order of when they came out. So we'll do them in the non-chronological order. So, just to tell you about what happens in them, kind of thing. So, if you've not watched the Star Wars films, you should probably stop and then go and watch them and then come back.
Or not.
I think you should. I think you should. Jono's wrong on this one. I think that. I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't be bothered to do a survey, and I can't be bothered to Google it. But I'm pretty sure there'd be more people who like Star Wars that don't like Star Wars, at least to some degree. So we'll go through the films. So the very, very first one to come out was Star Wars Episode 4. That was A New Hope, and that's set where you've got the Empire's like in full swing, and you've got the rebellion, and basically Jedi are not a thing. And so episode 5, the Empire Strikes Back. So in the last one,
is that where the Empire Strikes Back?
It actually is. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So their big weapon, the Death Star,
kind of on the nose a little.
I mean, it was quite a while ago. I guess films had to be told exactly where they were. You know, surprised there wasn't sort of a Star Wars episode, whatever, laser sword fights. But yeah, it's Empire Strikes Back is a really, really cool one. That is quite literally, the Empire's big weapon has been destroyed, and it's them sort of like doubling down their efforts. And that's the iconic one where you find out about Luke's lineage and his links with Darth Vader. So, and that's pretty cool. And then Return of the Jedi episode.
Oh
6.
wait, I know this one. I think the Jedi return.
The Jedi. Well, yeah, Luke becomes a Jedi rather than a Sith, and defeats the Emperor, and that's supposed to be the end of the story. So, which the Empire's fallen, the rebels have won, the galaxy is supposed to be safe from all of this, and that's where it's left for quite a while. And then we go to the prequel stories.
Because it's great because he doesn't have sex with his sister as well. So.
No, he just makes out with her because apparently that's okay. You know, that's totally okay.
That's not okay.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm not telling you.
Wait, did that actually happen in the film?
They didn't make out. She kissed him.
Ew.
But it is quite. I don't know if they knew about it at the time, but like it is. I've watched it back. And like, so Leia and Han Solo have got like this heated relationship, and like Luke's kind of in the middle, and then Leia kisses Luke, and he's like, ooh, basically he enjoyed that sort of thing. And it's like, oh mate, it's just fucked up.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
Like, watching the films when I was younger, I knew what was going on because I knew I knew who he was and everything because it's the world's worst kept secret. But I do wonder how audiences, when they found out about Luke and Leia, were like, oh, that's wrong. I'd love to have found out.
If I remember, like right at the end of episode 6, there's in the little Ewok village or Wookiee village or whatever.
Ewok, yeah.
And Ewok village, and the little goblins things, and they're like Han Solo's like talking to Luke or whatever, and he's like, nah man, she's my sister, and he's thank fuck, I'm gonna go bang her right now. And
not quite.
Or maybe that was a parody version.
I think that might be a parody version because it's Han and Leia talk, and Han's like, oh, you love him, right? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, I won't stand in the way. And then she's like, nah, he's my brother. And then he's all like, yay. It's weird.
Yeah, let's go bang.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, let's go bang.
Yeah, basically. Because then Kylo Ren comes up.
He does, and he's like, oh, hey, I'm not incest. That could have been awkward.
Yep.
I don't want to think about that.
Instead of just an emo, which arguably might be worse.
It's nice. It's nice to know that in the future in space and stuff like that, teen angst is still a thing.
True.
I hate you, Dad, even though you saved the world.
Anyway, sorry.
Yes, sorry, yeah. Oh, who knew that the Star Wars bit we were going to talk about was the incest bit for the longest? Who knew?
It's just the part everyone knows.
It is. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Phantom Menace, going back to the start, is so it's like an emerging threat. You've got the Sith, and they're not an empire yet, and it's the Jedi are a part of the Republic. So everything is supposed to be all good. Everyone's all happy. The ships are shiny. But it's their emerging threat and sort of the Jedi trying to stop them, and that's sort of the political side of it. But the big bit of the story is that the Jedi, so Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, they find this kid by accident called Anakin Skywalker, and he's got this predisposition to be like an amazing Jedi, and they believe that he's going to bring balance to the Force, so they want to bring him in. And that's basically what that one is. And the second, so the Attack of the Clones is...
Is it where the clones attack?
It is, sort of, yeah. So to fight the Sith, because the Sith are aligning with the Separatists, which are the robot people. So they've got an army, so the Republic decides, oh, we need an army, so they have an army of clones. And then the other half of the story is Anakin becoming, like, trying to train to be a Jedi, but also he's having romantic relationships he shouldn't be with the Senator, which is Princess Amidala. So that's...
Padme.
Yeah, Padme.
Yeah.
Yeah, Padme's a much nicer name.
Because Amidala sounds like a Bloodborne boss.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, episode 2's not much that goes on, and then it all sort of kicks off in episode 3, which is called Revenge of the Sith. So
oh my god, is that where the Sith takes revenge?
It does. So Anakin turns to the dark side, becomes Darth Vader, and
Why
the Jedi...
does he turn to the dark side?
So the idea of the Force is it's kind of like a spectrum. Like, if you live in the light, you're uncorrupted, and if you have anger and hate, it physically affects you and all that sort of stuff. So his mum got murdered, and he was annoyed at that, quite naturally, I would say. And the Emperor of the Republic is actually the Sith Lord in disguise. So he's basically been corrupting Anakin, and he just turns to the dark side, and he believes that if he uses Sith powers, his wife Padme won't die, and he basically wants to save her, and that's why he turns to the dark side. Yeah, he's just very easily corrupted. The moral of the story is, if you're having trouble, you sit down and talk to your friends rather than bottling all of it up and then going to a temple and killing a bunch of kids. So sit down and talk. That's the moral of the story. Anakin Skywalker was a very depressed person who people took advantage of.
Because if you don't, you'll go end up murdering children.
Exactly, yeah. There is no middle ground. You're either happy and you talk about things, or you kill kids. That's my hot take on it.
Good to know. Good to know.
And that brings, like, the main story to a close. And to be brutally honest, they could have just left it there, but no. Obviously, Disney got a hold of it, so they wanted more money, which is So 7, 8, and 9, I would say, is just a retread of 4, 5, and 6. So 7 is literally just replace it with the Death Star is Starkiller Base, the Empire is the First Order, that kind of thing, and then Rey is Luke Skywalker. It's kind of like a retelling.
I see. Okay.
8's rubbish. I hate 8.
8. She has to go find her Yoda.
Yeah, she goes, finds Luke, and then tries to do all that sort of shit and everything. But my problem with 8 is that there wasn't that. It wasn't interesting. It was just a film about, oh no, look, our ships are here, and then there's another ship, and it's chasing us, and we might run out of fuel at some point. And I didn't like it, but I get where the story was in there. But
and then training montage.
Yes, big training montage with lots of really stupid moments that people are like, oh look, it's funny. The films can be funny again. And we're like, no, just leave it alone.
Okay.
But yeah, and then
also we found out Rey's parents are farmers.
Yeah, we find out Rey's parents are absolutely nothing, and we find out that Snoke is nothing, and we find out that, that she's, just like, oh, I don't care anymore, and Kylo's like, oh, I'm going to hit that.
Doesn't someone just kill Snoke?
Yeah, like, Kylo betrays him.
Like, big Jedi, big Sith Lord, evil bastard.
Yeah, super evil guy who knows everything and can read everyone's moves, can't understand that the everything he's telegraphing is happening on a different hand. Yes, completely great, wonderful, well-written piece of cinema. Anyway, episode 9, rounding it off. A lot goes on in that, but it is just sort of they bring back Senator Palpatine, who was the original Sith Lord, and it's basically him trying to corrupt Rey to take the throne, because now her parents aren't nobody, they're his kids. You know.
Wait, what?
So Senator Palpatine, who is the Sith Lord, Rey's parents are his kids.
So Palpatine is her granddad.
Yes. So big change from they're nobody, they're farmers, to you're actually a descendant of the most evil and most powerful Sith in the universe. Huge fucking change, yeah.
I thought that Palpatine dies.
Yeah.
At the end of
do you know how bullshit it is? And it's even become a meme I've seen on the internet. So the Star Wars scroll at the start, literally it's somehow Palpatine has returned. Not explained. It just says somehow he returned. They never talk about it. So it was literally sort of written in as like a Deus Ex Machina thing to be like, how do we finish this? I know Palpatine. And even I will admit, it's bullshit. Like, I enjoyed the film, but it's not good storytelling just to be like, yeah, he's back, just don't question it.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What?
And he's built this whole so the Sith home planet that nobody knows where it is except for Palpatine. It's a planet called Exegol, and he's been in hiding on Exegol for all these years, and despite nobody knowing where it is, he's built a huge army with thousands and thousands of Star Destroyers that if he decided then and there to rise them from the ground of Exegol and send them out into the universe, he could enslave the whole galaxy just like that. But he wants to give the power to his kids, and he's like, you will reign, sort of thing. And yeah, it is very it's been done a million times before, and it's not very interesting.
That sounds really stupid.
Yeah, like I enjoyed, like if you look at the post, like the 4, 5, and 6, they were great. They set the groundwork, and I think they're the reason why Star Wars is as big as it is. The prequels round off the story for people who wanted to know, but they weren't particularly done amazingly. But it was a tough act to follow. 7, 8, and 9 were doing their own thing, and I think it is just, Disney's, they own the rights for it, so they're going to bleed it dry as much as possible. 7 was fine because it was a really easy watch, because it was just episode 4, so it was fun. But 8 and 9 had to finish the story, and it was bungled. It wasn't done very well, and it could have been better. So, but yeah, and the only other film, because I haven't seen Solo, I haven't watched that yet. But yeah, Rogue One, which is I've left that to last because that's my favourite. That bridges the gap between what happens after 3 and then just before 4. So the whole bit of 4 is the Empire are chasing these droids across the galaxy because they've got the plans for the Death Star, and then Luke gets them, and that's how he joins the fight to get the Death Star plans to the Rebels. And Rogue One is the story of how they got the plans.
Anyway, so I think
so you're not going to watch them then, are you?
Absolutely not. My opinion has not changed at all.
But at least you know what happens now.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So much. So anyway, I think that about brings us to the end of our episode. Again, if you've liked listening to James talk about Star Wars and me pretend to care, then do let us know, and we would love to hear from you. And again, if you have anything you want us to talk about, by all means, let us know. We will see what we can do.
You can tell us anything, even if it's something that none of us know and understand. You can laugh at us, try and stumble our way through.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do minimal research and then just go for it.
I will wake up on the day, go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to record today, and I might get up. I'm still in my pajamas, so.
Do you know what? Understandable. Well, well, from me and James, thank you very much for listening, and have a lovely day.
Take care.